Hello everyone. Now, ever since I smelled Enigma Nardo's Roma Uomo for Laura Biagiotti, I was taken in by her way of balancing scents, of doing this apparent simplicity with huge hidden complexity, and this very, very fresh quality to rather heavy compositions. Whenever there's Enigma Nardo involved, well, almost always, you've got musks, you've got benzoin, you've got resins, you've got incense, you've got spices, you've got, well, everything. Most of the things I've smelled from Enigma Nardo have this very, very beautiful, fresh balance to them. And I was quite taken in by this fragrance, Roma Uomo, and I think it's gradually becoming one of my favorite things to wear, and one of those dumb reach fragrances that I truly, truly like, because there's nothing more. I don't search for sophisticated choices when it comes to wearing a fragrance every day. I just like to feel good while wearing a fragrance, and that's it. And Roma Uomo is just a fragrance for me. Now, because I love Roma Uomo so much, well, I got this one. I got Minotaure by Paloma Picasso, by Michel Almairac for Paloma Picasso, because I heard talk of it being quite similar, or a source of inspiration for Roma Uomo, which I don't know what to say about that, because they were both launched in the same year, if I'm not mistaken. If you know anything else about the intricacies or the controversies behind this, I don't think there's any controversy behind this, but you know, let me know. And I've smelled this, and it is beautiful. It is spectacular. I wasn't expecting to like this fragrance so much. There were so many bad reviews for this one, and this is, oh God, this fragrance is so surprising for me. So first of all, yes, it's very, very similar to Roma Uomo, definitely. But they're not the same scent. However, I can very, very easily integrate Minotaure in the same type of scents that I've spoken about recently, that started with Gautier to the power of 2, Altamir by Ted Lapidus, Roma Uomo, of course. There's Le Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. There's also The Dreamer by Versace, where you can kind of have this striking orange blossom or jasmine that's accompanied by an ambery type of base that's very airy, it's very fresh, it's not overpowering, and it's not terribly resinous, with a sandalwood that's kind of sour, bitter, woody, and also a bit quite medicinal. So it's in the same ballpark of fragrances, and it is spectacular. It's beautiful. It's very much its own thing. Roma Uomo is more centered on benzoin, while this one is much more floral. It's fruitier. It's I should say much more colorful than Roma Uomo, and this struck me as a surprise as well, because when you buy a fragrance called Minotaure, or I should say Minotaure, I'd like to pronounce it Minotaure, as in Italian, I don't know why, but it's actually Minotaure in French. When you purchase a fragrance, or when you read about a fragrance called Minotaure, it's the Greek legend of the Minotaur, yeah, with a labyrinth and Daedalus and Icarus and Ariadne's thread and everything and all that, and Theseus, I don't know. It's supposed to be, you know, it's highly imaginative. It's very, gets my imagination going. However, when you think of a Minotaur, you kind of think of the epitome of, you know, almost caricature-like masculinity, right? And it is just that, but not in the way you might expect. So it's not an Antaeus type of smell. It's not something that's, you know, earthy and serious and glowering at you and roaring at you. No, this is fruity and light and very, very beautiful, because this, my dear followers, I do believe is the true precursor to Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Male. This was launched in 1992, and Le Male was launched in somewhere around 1996 or 97 or during that time. So they're not very far apart, and the references are definitely there. So this is a precursor to that. So if you've smelled Le Male, for me it's very difficult to describe Le Male. I describe it as an orange blossom amber type of scent, which is floral, fresh and minty and vegetal, but very, very abstract. You cannot pinpoint any of the elements to say you're responsible for this, you're responsible for this. And this is where I think Francis Kurkdjian really excelled at. This is why I think Le Male is a masterpiece at what it is. And this one, well, to smell the precursor to that is very, very interesting. And Minotaure, I think, is very, very beautiful in its own, you know, its own right. Because it does have all those things from Le Male. It does have that level of caricature, and it's almost like Joan Miró's art, right? It's not naive, it's funny, it's strange, it makes you want to search deeper for a deeper meaning into something that's apparently simplistic. And I think it works. It was a beautiful trend in the 90s with these fragrances, and I'm very, very glad I really got into them. So there are very, very tobacco, I wanted to say smoky, but that wouldn't be true. It's tobacco dry, sour sandalwood that kind of reminds me of Versace Dreamer as well, which is a very beautiful fragrance. I don't know why I don't have that. It's like a greener, artsier, more multicolored version of Roma Uomo. That's also, you know, sunnier, even more familiar than Roma Uomo is, because it kind of has all these references, it has all of these fragrances inside of it. So I think it's a success. Now, I don't know if I think this is still in production. I don't know why this gets so much hate. I have no idea. The bottle is beautiful. I think it describes the fragrance quite well. I like these inscriptions on the lid. The lid is plastic. I don't know, people are complaining about this plastic atomizer, but I think it works. I don't find it troublesome at all. So yeah, I can't think of anything else to tell you more about Minotaure, but let me tell you, this has been such a surprise, and I don't have either Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male in my wardrobe, and I don't have Versace Dreamer in my wardrobe, but they are so covered by this fragrance, both of them, because this is stunning. So if you've got any other questions about Minotaure, do let me know in the comments below, and until next time, remember, fragrance creates memories, and may yours be happy.